The hospital room was a sterile white cocoon, the kind that made you feel both safe and suffocated. The beeping of machines was a constant reminder of my fragile existence, each pulse echoing the uncertainty of my future. I stared at the ceiling, trying to find solace in the bland uniformity of it all, but my mind kept wandering back to the letter I had found just days before. It was tucked away in her drawer, hidden beneath old receipts and forgotten jewelry, a simple envelope, unmarked except for the scrawled handwriting on the front, "To my dearest." My heart had stopped when I saw it, a cold dread settling in my chest. I hadn't meant to snoop, but curiosity, or perhaps intuition, had gotten the better of me. The words inside were a dagger to my soul. "I can't keep pretending," she had written. "Our time together has been the highlight of my life, but I know it can't last. You deserve someone who can give you everything, and I'm not that person anymore." My hands trembled as I read those words over and over, each repetition slicing deeper into my heart. How could she do this? How could she betray me like this, especially now? The door creaked open, and I quickly shoved the letter back into its hiding place, wiping away any trace of tears. She stepped in, her face a mask of concern, but I couldn't look at her, not after what I had discovered. "How are you feeling today?" she asked, her voice soft and soothing, the way it always was when she thought I needed comfort. But today, it felt like a mockery. "Fine," I muttered, staring at the wall instead of meeting her gaze. "Just tired." She hesitated, sensing something was off. "Do you need anything? More pain medication, maybe?" I shook my head, still unable to bring myself to look at her. "No, I'm fine." There was a long pause, filled with the unspoken tension between us. Finally, she sighed and pulled up a chair beside the bed. "We need to talk," she said gently. I knew what was coming: the confession, the apology, the end of our marriage, but I wasn't ready to hear it. Not yet. "Can we just not?" I pleaded, my voice barely above a whisper. "Can we just pretend everything is normal for a little while longer?" Her eyes softened with sympathy, but there was also a hint of resolve. "We can't keep avoiding this, John. You deserve to know the truth." I clenched my fists, fighting the urge to scream. "Then tell me," I demanded, finally turning to face her. "Tell me everything." She took a deep breath, her hands trembling as she clasped them together. "I didn't want to hurt you," she began, her voice cracking. "I never wanted to hurt you. But you did," I snapped, my anger boiling over. "You betrayed me. How could you do that to me, especially now?" Tears welled up in her eyes, but she pressed on. "I was scared, John, scared of losing you, scared of being alone. And then he came along." "He?" I echoed, my voice dripping with venom. "Who is he?" She looked away, unable to meet my gaze. "Someone from work." We started talking, just as friends, but it became more. "More," I repeated, my heart shattering into a million pieces. "You mean you slept with him?" She nodded, her shoulders slumping in defeat. "Yes, but it didn't mean anything. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake." I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow and empty. "A mistake? You call this a mistake? This is the end of us, Sarah, the end of everything." She reached out, her hand hovering just inches from mine, but I recoiled, pulling away. "Please, John, don't shut me out. I love you. I still love you." "Love isn't enough," I whispered, my voice breaking. "Not anymore." The room fell silent, the weight of our broken relationship hanging heavy in the air. I could see the regret in her eyes, the pain of knowing she had destroyed everything we had built. But it was too late. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. "What happens now?" she asked, her voice barely audible. I didn't have an answer. All I knew was that my world had been turned upside down, and there was no going back. "I don't know," I admitted, my voice raw with emotion. "I just don't know." She stood up, her movements slow and deliberate, as if every step was a struggle. "I'll give you some space," she said quietly, "but please, don't push me away completely. We need each other right now." I watched her leave, the door closing softly behind her, The room felt even colder without her presence, the silence deafening. I clutched the letter in my hand, the edges digging into my skin, and let the tears flow. For the first time in my life, I felt truly alone.